Street. They collect bricks from the sidewalk and throw them at the police. They make petrol bombs with glass bottles and throw them at the police and at government buildings. They break into and destroy the offices of government officials. And American flags can be seen in the streets. Western politicians became very vocal about their support for these demonstrations.
The United States stands with the democratic protesters in Hong Kong.
The protesters in Hong Kong have sent a stirring message to the rest of the world about the dreams of freedom and justice.
In Hong Kong, these are protesters who are simply seeking liberty and freedom.
But maybe it's ironic that the West is now supporting a democracy movement in Hong Kong. In the late 1700s, the British East India Company, the largest transnational corporation of its time, was selling opium in China illegally. Millions of Chinese people became addicted, including large numbers of children. By the 1830s, British and American entrepreneurs were getting rich selling opium to these Chinese addicts. And when the Chinese government ordered them to stop, the British invaded, sending gunboats to Chinese ports and blockading the Pearl River. The British destroyed Chinese warships and looted entire cities. And once China was defeated militarily, China was forced to sign this treaty in 1842. It's the first of what the Chinese call the unequal treaties. And it gave the British control over Hong Kong Island. After it took the island, it used this perfect port city to ship drugs more efficiently.
Hong Kong was built on stolen land from the Opium Wars that Britain, the U.S., France, Germany, the great powers of the time, but particularly Britain, imposed on China. And it was a demand under the name of free trade to sell opium in massive quantities throughout China. And when China resisted that, there was an invading army that literally looted the capital, the major cities, the ports of China.
During the entire British era, which lasts until 1997, there was a de facto kind of apartheid that existed in Hong Kong. Chinese people were treated like third-class citizens.
Somehow it's been lost in this that Hong Kong was stolen from China by the British Empire as part of a broader attempt to actually weaken China as a major world power, which is maybe the most anti-democratic thing you could think of, right? An empire just coming in and just stealing a part of a country.
In 1984, the Chinese and the British signed a joint declaration stating that China would resume its sovereignty over Hong Kong on July 1st, 1997, and that Hong Kong would exist under a policy called One Country, Two Systems.